Hello and welcome to Inside the Tornado, Brevard's very own talk show where we invite very special student athletes to come and take a dive into their lives. I'm your host, Alex Bolton, and I ask you to please hold on as we take a step inside the tornado. Today's tornado is a very special one. We have a category wall drop inviting on today Brevard senior cheerleader Abbey Waldrop. Hello, Abby. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing absolutely fantastic.
Good.
Now, today we're going to have a little bit of fun.
Okay.
So before we get into the meat of everything, I have a question that's going to be a little difficult, a question I love to ask everybody, but everybody has a different answer because everybody's a different person.
Okay.
Who is Abbey Waldrop?
Oh, boy. Okay. Well, as you said, I'm a senior cheerleader. I'm from Greenville, South Carolina, which is like an hour and a half from here. I'm a Willie major with a psych minor. I love going outside, going hiking. I have a cat. I love her. Her name's Daisy.
Hey,
She's
Daisy.
my favorite.
She watching this?
Sure. Yeah.
Hey, Daisy.
What else? I don't know. Yeah, that's me, I guess.
And so, Abby, today we're going to have some fun, like I said.
Okay.
Have a good old time here, and I get to start this off, which is why it's going to be so much fun because I am going to make this as fun as possible. Have you ever played a game called Tall Tales?
No.
So, by your face,
I'm
you're
scared.
like, what in the world are you talking about? So, Tall Tales is a game where two people, where it's just two of us. Anybody can have any amount, but it's two of us. So, today, I'm going to start off with a story.
Okay.
Storyline. I'll be telling a story, and you have to jump in at some point and finish the story off.
Oh, gosh. Okay. I'm scared.
And so, you have no idea what story I have prepared. And in fact, I have no story I have prepared.
Got it.
So, this is going to be as tall of a tale as possibly told.
Okay.
Ooh, tall as a tale as possibly told. I like the rhyme of that.
Very nice.
Anyways, so I'm going to give you a scenery real quick and a theme.
Okay.
This story is going to be a fun story.
Okay.
With ups and downs. A little bit of darkness, but a whole lot of light.
Perfect.
So basically, this could be anything.
Yeah. Got it. Perfect.
Let's start the scenery. Once upon a time, in a land far away, Star Wars, there was a young man named Alex Bolton who decided he's going to start a podcast called Inside the Tornado.
I like where this is going.
When making this podcast, he thought, what episode would he like to make? And he decided, why not interview Cheer? And in finding out who he would interview, he had a tough pickle to crack. Didn't know pickles cracked, but today it did. And once the pickle cracked, Abbey Waldrop's name popped out the pickle. And so he texted Abby, hey, Abby, would you like to be on the podcast? She said, I would love to be inside that tornado.
Absolutely.
So what happened on that podcast, Abby?
Well, we learned that pickles
Crack.
don't crack, which is really important. Okay, let me lock in. What else?
We're locked.
Okay, we're doing this story on the podcast. I feel like we had some good conversation.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta tell like a story though.
No, okay, let me think about it.
Sorry. We're coming up with scenery. My bad.
Okay. So Abby comes on this podcast. We sit down in some pretty comfy chairs. We start yapping back and forth.
Sounds about right.
Let's see what else happens in
D1
this
yapper.
story. D1 yapper.
And Alex.
Yeah, correct. And I'm not good at telling stories.
Neither am I. This is not where it was supposed to go.
And then I don't know. That's all I got. I'm not good at this.
And as they sat down in the comfy chairs, all of a sudden something crazy happened. The ground began to shake, and all of a sudden it broke open, just
Almost
like the pickle. And Abby and Alex fall into this deep hole when all of a sudden a noise comes from beyond. And they look up, and in the sky is a tornado. and it suctions them up, and it puts them back on their feet. Wow. And ever since then, they said, to be a NATO.
To be a NATO. Got to be inside the tornado to be a NATO.
Might be the worst story I've ever told in my entire life. I honestly would have had a better chance asking ChatGPT to write me a story. But one way or another, we are where we are.
Pickles can crack open.
And now we know pickles can crack open. But Miss Abby, so getting on to some serious notes after having a little bit of a silly pickle time. Coming Before coming into Brevard College, you had never done cheerleading before.
Correct.
But you grew up doing gymnastics. Kind of tell me a little bit about your gymnastics background.
Yeah. So I did gymnastics for 10 years. I started when I was 7, I think. And then I just kept doing it from there. So I did classes, and then I joined the competitive cheer team. And how gymnastics works is there's different levels. So there's like bronze, silver, gold, platinum, something like that. And then you start getting into like the number levels. So like level 4, 5, all the way up to 10. And level 10 is like your elite gymnast. That's normally the level that college gymnasts are at. Like they're really good. They've been doing it for a really long time. And so, yeah, I did gymnastics for 10 years, got up to level 8, which was really cool. I really liked it. And I was at this gym called Greenville Gymnastics. And yeah, I loved it and I loved doing it. And we practiced a lot. We practiced 20 hours a week. So top of going to school and having to do homework and all that kind of stuff, I'd go straight from school to practice, and we would have practice for 3.5 or 4 hours. And then I'd go home and I'd do homework and I'd go to bed and I'd get up and do it all again. But then my senior year of high school, I got a concussion from gymnastics. I was on the floor and I went up to do one of my tumbling passes. And I went up in the air and I was really high. And then that's all I did. And I came straight back down and I landed on my head. And so I got a pretty bad concussion from that. I was out of school for like 3 months and couldn't do gymnastics for a really long time. And I didn't get the support that I needed from my coaches in that. I came back to do practice, and they pretty much were like, I think you're faking it. Like, I don't understand why you're not better. And I was like, actually, I can't see straight. So I don't know what you want from me. So I made a really hard decision and was like, actually, I don't think this is for me anymore. Which is really hard. And I always remember sitting at my kitchen table and just like crying with my mom, because I was like, I don't want to quit gymnastics. Some of my best friends, who are still my best friends to this day, like I met through gymnastics, but it was time for me to move on and give myself some space from the team and the coaches and just like find out who I was outside of gymnastics. So.
And what was your dreams with gymnastics prior to that?
I definitely wanted to go to college for go and do college gymnastics. I have always thought that doing that is so cool. I would go to the Clemson gymnastics meets, the Georgia gymnastics meets. Growing up in that world, I was like, I want to be that person. But I also kind of realized in high school, once I got older, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to reach level 10 by the time I graduate. So it was also just like a way to like keep my body active and keep moving. I always really liked being an active person. And it was something I had done for a really long time, and I loved the like progression of skills you can do in gymnastics. Like it's very obvious of like which level has which skills and how you can progress in that way. So
what was that realization like in terms of like you being able to be honest with yourself and say something like that? Did you kind of, when you noticed that, did it make you lose any love for it? Or maybe just find a new way that you just realized you felt a different way about it. It just was.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've ever lost a love for gymnastics. Like even like now being on the cheer team, like I try to tumble as much as I can, because I think like that's just something that I really love doing, and I've done it for so long, and it's something that like I have a lot of muscle memory with it. So I don't think it changed how I feel about gymnastics, but it definitely changed who I felt as a person I was, because gymnastics had been like the core, like a core part of me for a very long time. And so without that, I definitely felt lost for a while, especially because like every single day after school, I was going to practice. The only days we had off was Wednesday and Sunday. So like every day I was going, I was doing new skills, I was conditioning, I was doing all the things. And then all of a sudden it was just like nope, I don't get to see my friends every day anymore. I'm not like being as active as I used to be, and I'm not like progressing on these skills that I had been working on for so long. So it definitely shifted my perspective of, maybe not perspective, but like my identity and who I was as a person. And it was pretty hard.
And so I guess if I was to ask you back then, who is Abbey Waldrop, that answer would have been tremendously different.
Yeah, I think so. I think it would have been highly revolved around gymnastics, because I also did not like high school. I think because I was so involved in gymnastics, I didn't have time to be involved in high school. And I had like my group of friends, but I was in chorus, and that was like the only thing that I really liked about high school.
I loved chorus in school.
It was so fun.
When did you start?
In elementary school.
Okay.
So I did it through elementary, middle, and high school, and I did it for a couple years at Brevard.
Did you take any time away from chorus? We're making a big jump here, but like, any time away from chorus to try any other forms of music?
Nope. Sure didn't.
See, I did chorus in elementary school, and then I broke away to try and do band in 6th grade. And so I never returned back to any type of music till 8th grade, and it was like a big I didn't realize how much I loved chorus though. Yeah. It's probably one of the best courses you can take in music, I feel like. I
really liked it, and that's why I did it when I came to Brevard, because I was like, well, I need more credits, so I might as well like be in this chorus program. It was really fun. I really enjoyed it, but I ended up having to stop taking it because it just didn't mesh with my classes anymore, and I needed like actual classes for my major rather than like a chorus class.
Just doing it for fun?
Yeah.
That's interesting though. So we talk about, your major and things. You are a Willie major, if I believe, and you minor in psych? Correct. Yeah. So in doing that, chorus is something you really enjoyed, but Willie is something you do because of something you really, really enjoy.
Yeah.
We're going to get back to sports a little bit later, but let's take a moment to focus more on you now with the academic aspect of things. So tell me a little bit about what kind of brought you to the Willie major, focusing more so on your personal life.
Yeah. So I worked at YMCA Camp Greenville for the past 5 summers. And one of the full-time staff members there is actually a Willie alumni. And so when I told him that I was looking to go to college somewhere, he actually told my brother, who also goes here, that Ian should look at the Willie program. And I was just kind of like, I'll tag along with you, like, might as well. And so that's kind of how I found the Willie program, but I've always been an outdoorsy gal. Like, I grew up outside. My mom, like, every Mother's Day, my mom's like, yep, we're going to go on a hike. Like, that's what I want to do for Mother's Day. Like, we grew up just being outside in the dirt, playing outside. And so I think that translated for my love of it. And then kind of working in that field as well, it translated my love for it of helping others find a love for the outdoors. And I think that it can be super powerful. Like, working with Camp Greenville, I've seen kids and campers come to camp super shy and like not outgoing at all. They don't want to be there. Their parents like made them be there. But then the last day when they get picked up, like they're crying because they don't want to leave camp, and they don't want to leave the friends that they've made and these great experiences, and they have just like changed as a person and become more confident and just like really grown into who they are. And so I think that's why I was really drawn to it, because I wanted to learn more about that. What do my like career options look like? And the hard thing is that for a lot of outdoor kind of career paths, sometimes you don't need a major for it. So it was also kind of a toss-up of like, do I go to college and spend 4 years learning all these things, or do I just like find a job that I don't need a college degree for? But I really wanted to like have this experience and like have the college experience. So I was like, I think that's the best of both worlds. I get the college experience. I get to study something that I love. Like, I might as well. And
before coming into college, that gap year you took, tell me like how big of a deal you think did that turn out to you ultimately enjoying college?
So much.
I think that a lot of people just go straight into it, but that year probably, tell me a little bit about what you kind of learned about yourself in that year and what you learned about what you wanted to do.
Yeah. So I'm so thankful that I got to take a gap year. I had a lot of friends in high school that when I like finally decided I wasn't going to go to college right after high school, that told me, they're like, I wish I could do that, but my parents won't let me. And I was like, that sucks. Like, my parents were so supportive of me, and I didn't know what to say. I was like, oh, okay. But it was an incredible experience for me. Actually, I thought I wanted to be a physical therapist. So during my gap year, I went and toured some schools in South Carolina one in Columbia and one down near the coast. They were like technical colleges. And I thought that I wanted to be a physical therapist because I grew up doing gymnastics. I am quite injury prone. So like I've been in physical therapy before. And so like I know how helpful that is. And I was like, well, it's still kind of athletic related. Like I think I would really enjoy that. And then nothing ever really like felt like I was drawn to it or that I had a huge passion for it. I was interested in it. But going and touring the schools, like, it just never felt right. And so then when I came and toured, I actually toured App State and I toured Brevard. And App State was really great. It was really big, though. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I like this. And then, like, honestly, like, when I toured Brevard, like, it just felt like home. I was like, this feels like such a close-knit environment. Like, this feels like it's going to be a really great fit for me. So I think giving myself that gap year, one, helped me figure out what I actually wanted to do. Like, I don't think I would have been miserable as a physical therapist, but I think later down the line, I would have realized that that wasn't where my passion lied. And if you can, like, join passion and work, like, might as well. Like, I feel like that's just a really great thing if you can do that. And so it really helped me realize what my true passions were and what I wanted to do, like, with the rest of my life. It's really overwhelming to be a high school senior and everyone be like, well, what are you going to do with the rest of your life? It's like, I don't know. I'm 18. Like, I have no idea. And so I was really, like, I'm really thankful that my parents were super supportive of me taking that year and saying, hey, like, go figure out what you want to do. And I lived at home. And I worked at, like, my YMCA at home with kids, just, like, in their after-school program. And it was great, and I loved it. And I, like, found my passion for working with kids and just kind of took all of that and ran with it, so.
And do you ever, like, look back at that gap year you took and kind of think about maybe how things could have been different if you would have said no to going to college?
Yeah, I think that – I actually don't know where I'd be if I didn't come to college. I think that – eventually, I would have found somewhere to work, probably in the outdoor field. I think eventually I would have realized that that's truly where my passion is. But I don't know. I would probably be living in, like, Montana somewhere. Like, I probably would have just been like, okay, guys, I'm leaving.
I'm out.
Yeah. So, because it was really nice to live at home, but, you know, living at home for a year is a little bit of a challenge sometimes. And so I think I would have probably been on the other side of the country, which is kind of crazy to think about, but I'm really glad that I'm here. And, like, you know, college is hard, but I think this was definitely the best decision for me.
And so with your passion for the outdoors and wanting to share your love for the outdoors, specifically with the younger generation, what have you kind of learned more about yourself in terms of what you're passionate about? Like, what is the end goal with this passion? Like, it's cool, you feel strong about something. Now, what do you do with it? Yeah,
I think my biggest thing is just helping others enjoy the outdoors like I do. Like, it can be, what I have found in myself and what I've seen in other people, kids, adults, whoever, is that the outdoors is, like, can be a really, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, can provide really strong experiences. And sometimes, unfortunately, like, people have negative experiences outside, and sometimes people have really positive experiences outside. But I think one thing that I want to do is make sure that I'm a part of the positive experiences that people, like, have in the outdoors. And I think that especially, like, hiking, backpacking, any of those things, it truly teaches you what you're capable of, because we cannot control the outdoors. We can't control weather. We can't control animals. We can't control other people.
We try.
And we try. We try really hard. But you never can. And I think, like, the main thing that I think of is going backpacking. Like, you have everything in one bag. So it teaches you, like, you don't really need that much, and to enjoy the spaces around you. Whenever I go backpacking, I don't ever have cell service. And so it's truly pulling me into the present moment and teaching me about, like, really being present and seeing my surroundings and, like, having that reflective time with me. And for me personally, too, it really connects me with God and my faith, and really connects me with, like, in the grand scheme of life and this world that we live on, like, we are pretty small. And I think that that can be just a really reflective time and experience for people and teach them a lot about themselves. Like, you'll be outside and it'll be, like, raining cats and dogs, like, 20 degrees outside, and you're, like, finding the best moment in it, because what else are you going to do? You're just there. You're in it. And so, like finding that positive experience and truly seeing what you're capable of and getting a deeper connection with who you are as yourself, I think is really powerful.
So kind of taking it back now to the athletic part, we talk about passion. So passion has kind of driven your decision to be a Willie major. And so that's why you decided that. But passion and cheerleading never really correlated prior to college. So number one, how did you feel about cheer before college, and how has that changed since college?
Yeah. So I feel like I'm kind of bad admitting this, but it's okay.
Do it.
I really hated cheerleaders when I was in high school. Nothing against anybody. It was never like I had a bad experience, but I just kind of grew up, and maybe it was the gym that I like went to, but it was always like gymnasts and cheerleaders. And it was like gymnasts are up here, cheerleaders are down here. And so I just never was super interested in doing that, and I think in the back of my mind, I was like, well, gymnastics is harder. And so, like, why would I go do cheer? But then I got to school, again, like we said, like, did not come here for athletics, just came here for the Willie department. And then I was really bored, like, in all honesty. I missed, like, pushing myself physically and being athletic and gaining new skills and, like, being a part of a team. And so I had some friends that were already on the cheer team, so I started talking to them about it, reached out to Coach Chandler. And I was really nervous. I had no idea what to expect. I had no idea cheerleading was as hard as it is. And I just kind of went for it. I don't know. There wasn't a whole lot of thought that went into it, except like, I really want to be athletic, and it's the closest thing to gymnastics, and they look like they're having fun, and my friends are great, and they're on the cheer team, so like, might as well just go do it. So.
You kind of already mentioned it. I want to bring this up real quick about in gymnastics about how you hit your head, and it did leave you concussed for a little while. But that stemmed from falling. A big part of cheer that I think a lot of people you can giggle about, but it's also probably the scariest part is the falling aspect.
Yeah, it sure is.
So talk to me a little bit about that.
It's pretty terrifying. I can't lie. Right when I got on the team, Coach Chandler put me as a flyer. I think because I had like my gymnastics background and I was used to kind of like flipping and being in the air, and it was pretty scary. We have this I should have brought it in, but we have this helmet. I'm sure like people have seen it on my cheer bag, but it's this red helmet, and we keep that I keep it on my bag now, so I remember to bring it to practice, but it's like lives in our locker room. It's like our team helmet, so that when anyone is really scared and up in the air, we can throw that on them. And one, I think it like helps mentally, and then just protecting their head from, I don't know, because you're coming down and people are trying to catch you, so limbs are hitting limbs, and you just never know what's going to happen. It's pretty scary, but you also have to really trust the people who are underneath you, that even if something does go wrong, like they're going to be underneath you to catch you.
And cheer has a very unique thing where it kind of has two different platforms where it takes off, where you have college game days, whether that be football, basketball, and then you have your own competitions that you prepare for. Yeah. Tell me a little bit about the work and the practice that goes into that, along with the enjoyment that comes from those competition days and those game days.
Yeah, it definitely takes a lot. It's very intensive practices, especially in the beginning and this year, because we had a lot of seniors graduate last year, and so we're kind of rebuilding, but in the way of like stunting with like different people underneath you. Like, it's never going to be the same as with other people. So it's trying to figure out which stunt groups work, who you feel most comfortable with. Like I am not a flyer anymore. I flew this past Saturday because like, why not? But I'm now a back spot mainly and a base sometimes, but it's figuring out what positions are best for each person and how like me being a back spot benefits the overall team rather than me being a flyer. And so it takes a lot of time, a lot of trial and error, a lot of falling to figure out what works and what doesn't. And I really enjoy it. I really enjoy like scrolling on TikTok, seeing new stunts, and I'll like send them to Coach Chandler and I'm like, hey, we should try this out. So it's really fun. And I think I really enjoy that team aspect of it because gymnastics is a team sport kind of, but also individual, but cheer is so like, it is a team sport. And so I really like doing that. And then just like the anticipation and the adrenaline from like, you know, doing game days and being out there and being excited for the team when we get touchdowns and like being able to support like the rest, you know, the football team and everyone that goes here. And then for like competition, like nationals, that's like super nerve-wracking because you're on a stage. It's very different. Like during the football games, yes, people are looking at us when we're doing the cheers, but they're really focused on the game. Like they're not here for the cheerleaders, and I know that, and that's okay. But they're here for like the football team. But then when you compete, it's like, no, everyone is here to look at you and just look at you, and there's nobody distracting them. So it's definitely anxiety-inducing, but it's very different, but I like them both.
Do you think that the part of the game days kind of is why people neglect cheerleading in a way, that they may only view y'all as support and forget that y'all have y'all's own true competition style?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I did for the longest time. I was like, nah, like they don't do anything. But now I know that is so wrong.
It's like, like you see them out there with the pom-poms and yelling and screaming. Y'all do pyramids and different things that we see. But y'all have genuine competitions where the stuff that we see out on like game days are powder puff compared to what y'all really do. You know, like it's like, it's so much more body taxing, mentally taxing, and it just takes a lot more out of you than just what we see on those game days. Because again, the difference is, one, y'all are there to support. Another day, it's you. You know what I'm saying? So people are like, of course y'all aren't out there doing all y'all stunts. Y'all aren't out there for that.
Right.
And so people might take that for granted.
Yeah, I definitely did. And even like when we got our routine last year for nationals, like it was hard. We would do practices where we did our full out routine 5 or 6 times, and we had to hit every stunt. We had to smile. We had to spirit. Like that's also a big part of it, is like it's not just hitting the stunt, coming back down. It's like smiling the entire time, jumping up and down, doing our jumps, like spiriting, looking happy, and being really loud because you're on that stage. And we fell into this a little bit with our nationals last year. We had no idea how loud we actually needed to be. And like watching our video back, it's like, wow, I thought I was screaming. Nope, sure was not.
Sound like you was whispering.
Exactly. And so like it is very taxing. And I think that, yeah, if you just don't know that side of cheer, you're just not going to realize like how much effort it takes.
And so you kind of already talked about it a little bit. Last year, Brevard College went for the first time to the UCA College Nationals, which is the cheer competition, national cheer competition in Orlando, Florida. Tell me a little bit about that experience and how that was for you as an individual, as well as for the team's first time going down there.
Yeah. I think it was a really great experience. I'm so thankful that I got to be a part of like Brevard College cheer going for the first time. Like I think that is something that I will like carry with me for a long time. But it was hard, and it was also our coach's first time going and like making the routine. And so I think it was definitely a learning period for all of us. We had no idea we had an idea what to expect, but we were kind of just going in and hoping for the best and being like, okay, we've prepared in the best way that we can. But I think it was also a really great bonding experience for the team. And like I said, we had a lot of seniors that graduated, and so like it was hard to see them go after we went through this experience together. But it was very unique in the way that we were just kind of like there. Like we were there with like Alabama, like Florida, all of those big schools, and we were all just like, we have like 12 people on our team. We've never been here before. Okay, like, hi, everybody. Like, it was nerve-wracking. But we had put in so much practice, and we had put in all that we knew to do to prepare ourselves for that moment. And then, and we got to hang out at Disney a couple days after. So, like, that was really fun. And obviously not the point that we went, but I think, like, now hopefully we get to go back this year. And now we've been there before. Coach Chandler knows, like, what needs to change in a routine or what they're looking for. And I think we can prepare a little bit better and just like calm those nerves a little bit because we've been there before. It's always going to be nerve-wracking to be on a stage. But I think like now we have a little bit of preparation.
And so you could already touch a little bit about what y'all might need to change going forward, going into it. How do you feel about this being your last year? So you've only had two experiences. What do you want to leave out of there this year for yourself?
Yeah, I think it's hard. I'm a lot more sad about it than I was expecting to be about like leaving the team. But I think the main thing that I want to make sure is like that I'm helping leave the girls on the team like in a good place, like with like being on the team, but also as people. Like I am a very people-oriented person and love to make connections with people. And so yes, I want to make sure that like the team thrives after I'm gone, because I think like that's just something that's really important as a senior to make sure that you're setting people up for success. But I also want to make sure I'm setting the girls up for success outside of the mat, and want to make sure that even if I'm not here and even if I'm not here for classes, that they feel like they have someone to reach out to and that they have felt supported in the time that we've gone to be teammates together. I think that's something that's really important to me.
And so you kind of touched on all the aspects of your life, whether it be cheerleading, The Willie program, which is something that more correlates to school, starts with the passion that you have for the outdoors itself. Coming into college, again, you had no idea that you're doing cheer. You started out with gymnastics. You knew you loved the outdoors. Willie programs where you end up. But so looking at your growth from the beginning to now, just talk to me a little bit about how you've grown and how you've seen yourself grown, and where you still looking to get to.
I think the main place in my life that I feel like I've grown is my confidence. I used to be like, I've always been pretty extroverted and outgoing, but I think that even when like my freshman year of college, I like didn't do anything. I stayed in my room with my roommate. We only really hung out with each other and a couple people on our floor, and it was great and I enjoyed it. But throughout my like college career, I've gotten involved in a lot more things. I'm on the cheer team. I was on the track team last year. I was a part of SGA a couple years ago. Like, I'm a part of the psychology club. Like, I kind of just started putting myself out there more. And the more I did that, the more I realized that, like, I'm kind of confident in myself. And, like, that's something that I never really, when I thought about myself, I never thought that I was confident. But I think now, like, doing this, sitting here with you, just, like, talking about myself, like, that would have caused so much anxiety for me, like, freshman year. But now I'm like, okay, great. Like, you asked me to do it. Of course I'm going to do it. So I think I've grown in my confidence a lot and just kind of really becoming like who I truly am, like not trying to hide any of that. I think it can be really easy to come into college and be like, oh, like, I don't want people to know the real me because what if they don't like me? It's like that always is anxiety inducing. And that's definitely how I was freshman year. And then I kind of grew out of that and realized, like, if people don't like me for who I am, that's okay. They don't have to. But I'm going to find the people that do love me for who I am.
Those will be your people.
Yeah. And I'm only going to find those people if I show them who I am. And so I think that was a really big eye-opener for me. And my freshman year roommate definitely helped me out with that. And just kind of like we pushed each other out of our comfort zones and our boundaries. And like I really created a really great community for me here.
And so like, starting from the beginning where we come in and we're asking who is Abbey Waldrop, and now you come and you talk all this about who you are and you're learning more about yourself. Does that kind of help you even learn more about who you are in a way?
I think so, yeah. It like puts it into perspective, I think. It's hard to kind of sit down and think about the last 4 years. Like I don't know, it makes me kind of sad that I'm about to leave. Like I don't want to leave this place that has like had such a big and positive impact on me. But yeah, I think it puts everything into perspective for sure.
Because I definitely say one thing I found really interesting with everybody who comes on is that you ask them who are they, and everybody includes their sport. But you said something that really stuck out in the beginning, which is that you started out and said that earlier gymnastics was a part of your identity. When you graduate, cheerleading is going to be like how gymnastics was. When you graduate, Brevard College is still part of you, but it's going to be like how gymnastics was. And so how do you keep answering the question, who is Abbey Waldrop, without having to keep losing a piece of who you are?
Ooh, wow, we getting deep today. I love it. I think, honestly, that's where the confidence comes in. And that's where being confident in not just like how I carry myself, but also being confident in who I am at my core. And I think that it's always going to be like life is full of changes and full of things like coming and going, which is really hard. But I have learned over the years that is one thing that makes life truly wonderful. And it makes life, I don't know, it makes life interesting. Like you never know what's going to happen. But I think that remembering that and then also looking back on times like this and like remembering the positive things, and like it's important to look back and learn things like from past experiences, but I think also looking back and learning things and then taking it with you. So even if something, you know, like you said, like cheer and Brevard very soon won't be a part of my life, my like present life anymore, which is again so sad, but that doesn't mean that leaves my identity as well. Like just because I haven't done gymnastics in 5-6 years, Lord, that's a really long time. Anyway, just because I haven't done gymnastics, and that doesn't mean it's not a part of who I am. It's just not a part of this like present like moment in my life. And I think looking back and taking things I can learn from each experience is really important, and then just kind of going forth and seeing what's going to happen and being confident in who I am at my core will like lead me to where I need to be.
And so before I let you go, you kept saying looking back.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a moment to look back real quick.
Okay.
Forget Alex is here.
Okay.
I'm not here no more. It's
here.
just you and your people. So I want you to look into the camera and look back at those who have kind of gotten you to this point.
Yeah.
The people that, as you look forward, you know what I'm saying, they will always be in your mind. It's like, wow, I'm only here because they were here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just what would you say to those people?
Yeah. I mean, definitely a big thank you to my parents. I kind of already touched on it earlier. But they have always been someone who, like, they've always been in my corner no matter what. They've supported me through doing gymnastics for so long, through deciding that wasn't for me anymore, to taking a gap year, coming to Brevard, wanting to work at summer camp. Doesn't make a lot of money. So I just really got to love it. But no matter the decisions I have made, they have been incredibly supportive of me and really pushed me to find what I love and make a life for myself. So definitely thanking them. And I think my brother too. I mentioned earlier that he goes here. We obviously grew up together. So we live in the same house. We have the same major. We went on immersion together, which is part of the Whirly program. So our lives are pretty intertwined. And he has always been a really big support for me. So just like thank you to all of them. And then all the friends that I've made at Brevard, like I said, like I truly think that I have loved Brevard so much because of the community I have made. And that is something that I hope to take with me wherever I go, to keep in contact with friends, even though we don't live, 5 minutes away from each other anymore. But yeah, I think just a thank you to all the people who have really supported me. And even when I've made some potentially questionable decisions or whatever, they have been there to help me back up and help me go back to who I am at my core and reminded me of who I am when I've lost sight of that, and to make sure that I'm building a life that I want for myself. And they just love me through all the moments.
Well, I want to take a moment and kind of pull at you real quick and say thank you to you for just joining me today and indulging into your life, letting us learn more about you. I think honestly this episode will give a lot of perspective to a lot of people, especially on the aspect of passion. The aspect of you taking a gap year, whether you're taking a gap year or just taking a moment to sit down and think. I think finding out your passion is something that's really important because, again, you can be passionate about a lot of things, but it's important to know what you're going to do with it. And so I think that was something I definitely took from that really helped me just put that in perspective for myself. So again, once again, thank you. We have been joined today by senior Brevard College cheerleader Abbey Waldrop. Special thanks to her. Make sure to check in next Thursday again for the next Inside the Tornado episode. And before we go, as always, go Nados.
Go Tornadoes.